Right, the Raging Kucing here today at the Toronto Veg Fest. It's an amazing time here, an incredible amount of vendors, people, the place is just packed. I'm here with David Alexander of the Toronto Vegetarian Association. David, you've done a fantastic job. This is your 30th year putting this festival on. How many years have you been with the organization?
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment, first of all. I've been with the organization for, this is my 9th Veg Food Fest.
9th, okay,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
And so how has it grown in the last, I guess, 9 years then since you've joined the organization?
Well, I can go even further back. You know, the first event was held in a much smaller venue. We attracted 500 people, which at that time, in the 80s, the group was very excited about that.
Yeah.
They had a couple of cooking demos, 5 or 6 food vendors, and over the years, the event's grown to now, basically we're filling up all of Harbourfront Centre. We've got music, we've got cooking demos, we've got talks. I think overall there's about 36 hours of programming just in terms of that, informational stuff. And we got more than 100 exhibitors sampling food and talking about other products and issues that relate to vegetarian living.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm here from Victoria, BC, and we've had a vegan fest now for 3 years.
Great.
And coming here and seeing this is inspirational in terms of just what the persistence of keeping up with this kind of community-based organizing and working with businesses, local and larger than local and such, bringing them together and just making a place where everybody can just be welcome and have fun and really enjoy and celebrate vegan and vegetarian animal related community and the issues in a way that is joyful and celebratory. How do you see that how do you see the festival as fitting into animal activism and the current animal rights movement?
Well, I think first and foremost, our goal is not so much on that side of things. It's on the other side of things where a lot of people for many years, they've been afraid of vegetarian food, and it's kind of closed off the conversation for them because they could never imagine themselves eating vegetarian, even once in a while, let alone full time, and let alone going vegan.
Yeah.
So, a big part of what we do is aimed around breaking down that barrier and showing people that veg food can be just as good as the food they're used to eating, that there are options all over the place, that it's easy to make, it's easy to hit all your nutritional requirements, and so on and so forth. But in terms of, how we work animal issues into the festival, we have probably a dozen or 2 vendors that are from animal advocacy organizations.
Yeah. Mercy for Animals,
Pig Save, and that's a big, that it's important to us to keep that as to give people the festival as an opportunity to talk to people who aren't yet aware of all these issues and that haven't yet kind of made the connection to between food and animals in particular, but other animal issues as well. And then we also, through our speakers, we try to highlight some of the the best advocates for animal issues. So yesterday we had a storytelling panel, art, animals, and storytelling, where we had Joanne MacArthur, a renowned animal photographer, animal rights photographer. We had a poet on that panel. We had one of Esther the Wonder Pig's dads. So, it's an opportunity to talk about all these different ways of reaching people and, getting the information out there to a very broad audience.
Definitely, and it's fantastic. Building culture, I think, is such an important part that we often don't talk enough about when it comes to veganism or vegetarianism and animal issues and such. Going beyond the food, talking about it in stories, talking about it in film and otherwise, right? And just how we relate to other animals in so many other ways in our society. I heard about a great promotional campaign you did with some corn dogs.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, well, we've been working with Leo Burnett, an ad agency that handles some really great clients, really big, businesses in Toronto and other major cities. They've been doing some pro bono work for us, so we're really grateful for that. One of the campaigns they came up with was called Corn Dog Surprise, and it involved. Basically, we set up a food truck in Honest Ed's alley. Honest Ed's is like a famous Toronto landmark for giving away free turkeys and other things like that. But we convinced them, let's give out some vegan corn dogs. We promoted the event without telling anyone that the corn dogs would be vegan, and so people saw that the event was happening on social media, or they're just walking down the street, and we gave them a free corn dog. And then as they're leaving, we were like, "Hey, if you liked this, this is veg food. This is what it's like. It's delicious, and you can come, have some more of it, try some more of it at the Veg Food Fest at Harbourfront Center."
That's awesome. That's a great idea. It's a great promotional, stunt that just opens people's eyes, because often, people, they make that judgment as soon as they hear the word it's vegan, and they will just turn away, right? But, more times than not, if they just eat it first, they, and then they're exposed to the truth of it, right? They're like, they're just pleasantly surprised, and that judgment kind of just is erased.
Yeah, so much of food people aren't really used to thinking about in a political sense, or in from a perspective of where does this come from. They're used to just kind of following what their taste buds tell them, and so it makes it a whole lot easier to talk about if you can also give them a taste of what the food is like first, and really break down that disconnect between what they used to think about veg food and what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, because sometimes we do talk a lot about politics. We do talk a lot about industries and just the misperceptions and all this kind of thing, right? But a lot of that is going to go over people's heads, right? When it comes down to it, it's going to be what they taste and how they feel about that experience, right? Because food is a very emotional experience for people, and so that's where you're going to get them, is if you make something that tastes good, they're going to be happy about it, and if they're happy about it, then they're going to keep going back to it in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it's an emotional experience for vegetarians and vegans
of
too.
Course,
people come to this event if they're veg. Yeah. It's commonly referred to as Vegetarian Christmas. People just get here and they're so excited.
Yeah, it's good.
They want to try all the different vendors, try the new products, try their their favorites, their cupcakes, their corn soup, their burritos, their donuts, everything. It's just such a happy event for people, and it's also an opportunity to reinforce our commitment and remind us, we're not the only ones on the planet that eat this way and that think about these issues in this way.
That's right. It's great to come together and see everybody here and be able to enjoy things in a safe way with the community, where you just know you're not going to be judged and such.
Yeah.
So one thing we do on the Raging Kucing is we do ask people what their favorite animal is.
Favorite animal? Yeah. My favorite animal is the chicken.
The chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, or do you mean an individual that I know?
It can just be a particular species or whatever. So chicken's fine, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm working on actually a bunch of poems about chickens.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I've written something like 30 of them, and some of them are going to be published in a little chapbook in the fall.
That's fantastic. So I'm going to give you a choice then, because you've told me this little tidbit about yourself. So we usually ask people to do their best impression of their favorite animal.
Oh.
But because you're a poet, and I appreciate the art so much, I would be happy to, if you wanted to maybe recite a poem, if you have one in your head that you could recite.
Yeah. My favorite chicken impersonations are the ones from Arrested Development. They're pretty hilarious. But I'm not going to do one of those.
No, you wouldn't do one?
I don't think
Which one? Job?
Probably Job.
Okay, yeah. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Let me see if I have a short one I can...
You sure you won't do one with me if we do it together?
Well, we'd have to do 2 of the different ones. You know, I think there's
do
one that
one.
goes a doodle doodle do.
Yeah.
Is that Lucille?
Lucille, maybe.
Maybe she does this.
No, that's Lindsay.
Lindsay does
Lindsay
that. Yeah.
Kakakui, kakakui,
Yeah, okay.
kakakui,
We can do this.
kakakui, 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 kakakui. That was well done,
pretty
sir.
good.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
That was awesome. All right. Well, I mean, I think that pretty much covers the Toronto Veg Fest here. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today, Dave.
No problem.
Really appreciate it, and hopefully, we'll see you again.
All right.
And I'm a member now, so
excellent.
I encourage other people to go and buy your membership, and it's money well spent. You get discounts all around Toronto and beyond, and it's a fantastic organization putting on a fantastic festival. So once again, for the Raging Kucing in Toronto, with David Alexander here, Executive Director of the Toronto Vegetarian Association. That's all, folks. Thanks.
Thank you. That's like going to be really embarrassing, but...